Are the official food pyramids and dietary guidelines, the very foundations of what we've been taught about healthy eating, meant to protect our health and steer us towards wellness, or are they, perhaps, actually making us sick? Are these guidelines inadvertently contributing to the rise of chronic diseases? We're consistently told to trust the experts, to place our faith in established nutritional advice, and to build our meals around grains and starches, considering them the cornerstone of a balanced diet. Yet, despite adhering to these recommendations, chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and obesity are at an all-time high, casting a long shadow over our society. This paradox, this stark contrast between what we're told and what we're experiencing, demands scrutiny, a deeper look into the underlying causes. Is the advice we've followed for generations, passed down through families and institutions, truly serving us and promoting longevity and vitality, or is it perhaps unknowingly leading us toward metabolic ruin, setting the stage for a cascade of health problems? Diet is implicated in over 90% of chronic illnesses, a staggering statistic that underscores the profound impact of our food choices on our overall well-being. Clearly, something is fundamentally wrong with our approach to nutrition, with the way we understand and implement dietary guidelines. It's time to look beyond the food pyramid, to challenge the conventional wisdom that has shaped our eating habits for decades. It's time to question the origins and interests behind our dietary guidelines, to understand the forces that have influenced what we believe to be true about food. We'll investigate the history of food industry deception, uncovering the tactics used to manipulate our perceptions of healthy eating. We'll expose the most damaging nutritional lie, the one that has had the most far-reaching and detrimental effects on our health. And we'll explore a science-backed alternative, a new paradigm in nutrition that could potentially reverse chronic disease and restore our health. Let's pull back the curtain on what truly shapes our food choices, the hidden influences, the marketing strategies, and the ingrained beliefs that guide our decisions. Let's reclaim control over our health and future, empowering ourselves with knowledge and making informed decisions that lead to a healthier, more vibrant life. To truly understand the potential flaws and pitfalls within our current dietary advice, we need to take a step back and examine the past. It's crucial to recognize that what we consider healthy today might be viewed very differently in the future, based on new scientific discoveries and evolving understandings of the human body. By looking to the past, we can learn from previous mistakes and avoid repeating them. Take Crisco, for example, introduced with great fanfare in 1911. It was aggressively marketed as a revolutionary and healthy alternative to traditional animal fats like butter and lard, promising a lighter and more modern way to cook and bake. But the reality was far from the wholesome image it projected. Crisco was, in fact, made from hydrogenated cottonseed oil, a highly processed industrial product. The hydrogenation process itself was quite novel for the time. For decades, trans fats, abundant in products like Crisco and margarine, were not only considered safe, but actively promoted as healthy choices by doctors and nutritionists alike. They were seen as a way to lower cholesterol and prevent heart disease, based on the limited understanding of fats at the time. It was only much later that these trans fats were definitively proven to be catastrophic for heart health, significantly increasing the risk of cardiovascular disease and other serious health problems. It took over a century of widespread consumption and mounting scientific evidence to finally ban artificial trans fats from our food supply. This highlights the incredibly dangerous lag that can exist between the initial release of a product onto the market and the eventual achievement of scientific consensus regarding its safety. The regulatory process often struggles to keep pace with innovation. And this isn't an isolated case confined to the realm of dietary fats. Asbestos, for instance, was once hailed as a miracle material, lauded for its fire-resistant properties and used extensively in construction and manufacturing. Similarly, DDT was sprayed liberally across fields and in homes, seen as a powerful tool to eradicate pests and improve public health, before its devastating environmental and health consequences were fully acknowledged. In each of these cases, industry interests coupled with a lack of robust regulation and oversight allowed demonstrably harmful substances to not only enter the market but to become deeply ingrained as everyday staples in our lives. These stories aren't just relics of history, they serve as crucial warnings for the present and future. They starkly illustrate how economic interests in the pursuit of profit can, and often do, override concerns for public health and safety. This can lead to the insidious embedding of dangerous products into our daily lives for generations, with long-term consequences that are difficult to reverse. Therefore, we must constantly ask ourselves, what are we currently consuming, using, or being exposed to today that will ultimately be recognized as tomorrow's major health crisis? The fundamental lesson here is to cultivate a healthy skepticism towards claims of safety, particularly when significant profit motives are involved. Always question, investigate, and prioritize your well-being. Industrial byproducts still lurk in our food supply, often disguised as safe. Glyphosate, a weed killer originally used for cleaning industrial pipes, is now sprayed on crops like corn and soy, despite health concerns. Fluoride, an industrial byproduct, is added to water and toothpaste for dental health, but research links it to neurological risks. Sodium nitrate, once used in gunpowder, preserves processed meats but is linked to cancer. Artificial sweeteners like saccharin derived from petroleum are promoted as healthy, but may disrupt our metabolism and gut health. Even biosolids, treated sewage waste, are used as fertilizer, introducing contaminants into our food chain. These examples show that the problem of industrial chemicals in our food is ongoing, not just a relic of the past. The safety of our food supply is far from guaranteed. We must question what's really on our plates. The most damaging nutritional myth, a pervasive falsehood that has shaped our dietary habits for decades, is that carbohydrates are essential for human life and brain function. This idea, deeply ingrained in our understanding of nutrition, suggests that we need a constant supply of carbs to fuel our bodies and minds. But is this really the case? Let's delve deeper into the science and challenge this long-held belief. This belief forms the base of the food pyramid, the very foundation upon which dietary guidelines have been built, pushing us to fear fat and embrace carbs. We've been told to load up on bread, pasta, and rice, while shunning butter, avocados, and nuts. This has led to a skewed perception of what constitutes a healthy diet. In reality, our bodies can make all the glucose we need, a process known as gluconeogenesis, from protein and fat through gluconeogenesis. This remarkable metabolic pathway allows us to create glucose from non-carbohydrate sources, ensuring a stable energy supply even without a high carb intake. Our brains can also run on ketones, a clean fuel produced from fat. Ketones provide an alternative energy source for the brain, offering a stable and efficient way to power our cognitive functions. The demonization of fat led to a flood of low-fat, high-carb processed foods, a market saturated with products designed to capitalize on our fear of fat, often loaded with sugar and refined starches. These seemingly healthy alternatives are often far worse for us than the natural fats they replaced. This shift has had disastrous health consequences, contributing to a cascade of negative health outcomes, fueling obesity and chronic disease. The rise in obesity, type 2 diabetes, and other metabolic disorders can be directly linked to this dietary shift. The idea that red meat and eggs are unhealthy, nutrient-dense foods that have been unfairly vilified is a direct result of this misguided war on fat. These foods, rich in essential vitamins and minerals, have been wrongly accused of contributing to heart disease and other health problems. The real danger is the framework, the underlying principles that guide our food choices, that encourages us to overconsume non-essential carbs, leading to metabolic dysfunction and weight gain, while fearing the nutrients our bodies truly need. We've been conditioned to avoid healthy fats and proteins, the very building blocks of our cells. It's time to rethink what we've been told about food. It's time to challenge the conventional wisdom and embrace a more informed and balanced approach to nutrition. The high-carb diet, often unknowingly embraced, promoted by official guidelines, is unfortunately fueling a significant public health crisis. Diets centered so heavily on refined carbs and sugars directly drive the development of type 2 diabetes, and contribute to obesity, as well as high blood pressure, and can even lead to cognitive decline over time. Constant carb intake, especially of refined sources, causes blood sugar spikes, ultimately leading to insulin resistance, which is the gateway to metabolic syndrome and a host of other chronic diseases. The very diet that was originally meant to prevent illness is paradoxically causing it. And as processed carb consumption has soared dramatically, so too have the rates of these chronic conditions risen. It's estimated that most adults now have at least one chronic disease, often unfortunately without even realizing it. So what is the most impactful health change you can make? It's to reduce your intake of refined carbohydrates, even though these are the very foods we've been told are essential for us. The irony in all of this is truly tragic. but thankfully the solution is quite clear and within reach. If high-carb diets drive disease, reducing carbs could be the solution. Low-carb and ketogenic diets replace carbs with healthy fats and moderate protein, shifting the body to burn fat and produce ketones. Clinical trials show these diets can reverse type 2 diabetes, restore insulin sensitivity, and promote sustainable weight loss. People report feeling fuller with fewer cravings, making the diet easier to maintain. Benefits extend to heart health, lower triglycerides, higher HDL, and better blood pressure. Many experience improved mental clarity and mood, and research is exploring benefits for neurological conditions like epilepsy and Alzheimer's. Despite strong evidence, low-carb diets are absent from official guidelines, a failure of public health institutions. Hospitals, schools, and other institutions are locked into outdated high-carb models. Doctors who recommend low-carb approaches risk professional backlash. The system suppresses a proven solution while perpetuating harmful advice. Better health starts with questioning the status quo. We must demand that dietary guidelines reflect current science and include low-carb diets as legitimate options. Imagine hospitals and schools serving meals that heal, not harm. This isn't about banning carbs, but recognizing that high-carb diets aren't right for everyone, especially those with insulin resistance. On a personal level, start by reading labels and cutting hidden sugars and refined carbs. Prioritize whole foods, non-starchy vegetables, healthy fats, and quality proteins. Don't fear natural fats, they're not the enemy. Consult a knowledgeable healthcare professional before making major dietary changes, especially if you have health conditions. The power to reclaim your health is in your hands. It takes courage to challenge outdated dogma and commit to nourishing your body with real science.